Hey YouTube, we're gonna get started on our next video. I asked my wife what she wanted as the next project, and she wants a plotting bench. I think I could do this in one video. It might be a two-part series, and let's take a look at a few things that we got. I went to Home Depot earlier and got some Type on 3 that I'll talk about in a little bit. Number 8, 1-inch quarter screws, and there are 11 12 feet 1x4s here. I think I did the math correctly. I'm so excited to use my Rex Cougar English joiner bench build. It would be really nice to not have to work on the ground. Everything else is still the same. These are some of the hand tools that I have. This is my wife's drill and some other hand tools. We're going to go into the kitchen now, in the living room, to show you guys my very rough plans. So I just drew some squares, and she wants it to be 5 feet long and 2 feet wide. And these were just kind of like my chicken scratches with the top, and I added the numbers up and it ended up being 124. So instead of buying 10 to be 120, I bought 11 to have 130. The build basically follows
to make a simple model.
Bob.
This model takes advantage of the same type of material except for one piece across the top.
From I Like to Make Stuff, we are going to try to follow that plan, and a little bit of redditing about the glue says just go with the tight bond. Here's another thread, tight bond, and here's another thread, tight bond. Let's get started. I'm gonna start making my cuts here, so this will be right around 2 feet. I am cutting a little bit closer was easy. I'm gonna try to like catch this one with my hand. Perfect. So I actually really liked working on my bench, and it's really nice to not be on the ground, but I have noticed that I need another thing to hold this end, because I'm making the cut here and there needs to be something to hold it up. And that's the best I got right now. I got all the cuts done, so I'm gonna start building the base. We just got back from skiing and I'm working on the potting bench again. Finished the top and bottom pieces, going to work on the legs here, and it looks like he's overlapping them. So I'm gonna make these cuts and glue them together and fastener them in. So the majority of the time is actually been cutting the 12 feet 1x4s into 3 feet, and I can see why people want miter saws, and that would make the process a lot quicker. But I like my miter saw. And it doesn't take that long. I think I'm ready to assemble the legs. So this is the setup I'm going with. I raised this a little bit so it sits flush up here. This is my first time using wood glue. Pull to open, and I'm gonna add some here. Whoops, I think that's too much up top, but that looks pretty good. And overlap them like Bob did in I Like to Make Stuff. So Bob uses a staple gun. I don't have a staple gun, so I'm just going to kind of clamp it down as best as I can. And I'm going to clamp here. And then one more here. Beautiful. All right. Pretty stable. Now I'm going to clamp these two. Put in some fasteners. So Bob from I Like to Make Stuff, he uses a staple gun, but I don't have a staple gun, so this will this will do. So he did staple gun all along here. I'm just gonna put in a fastener. Feel like that should that'll do. And then some fasteners here. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna switch to the number 2 drill bit. I don't know if this is gonna do anything, but I'm just gonna put one here because, yeah. Forgot to get an extra one. Beautiful. Just gonna let that sit for a little bit. So we got all the leg pieces on and the table is standing. This last part is still being clamped down. Each of these took about 30 minutes because according to the glue bottle, it needs to be about 30 minutes before I take them off. So we are on the last part, and luckily I have some extra 2x10s that my wife just happens to feel like this is a good height for the lower shelf, and we are going to use these as a guide to screw this part in, and it's a little awkward, but I'm going to try to get it in where both sides is kind of fitting okay. And then once this is locked in, we can turn it down, get it to fit kind of roughly. Perfect. And now we're just gonna fastener this part in. I got the bottom part fastened in. Just put a few on each corner. I'm starting to work on the slats that will eventually go on the top and the bottom. And I'm noticing I have a pretty huge measuring error because I was assuming everything was going to be 5 feet, but I forgot to take into consideration this thickness of the 1x4, which is 0.75 inches. So I actually need 5 feet and 1.5 inches. But when I was initially, when I started the calculations, I was assuming 5 feet. So I was like, oh, 10 feet. That should give me 2 pieces. And I actually even gave myself 2 inches of extra space, but I actually needed 3. And now I might have to go to Home Depot to buy another 1x4. But we'll see how many pieces I could get with the current stock. I only have 3 of those, and I've cut 2 there. Those 2 are too short, and we will see. So I've put fasteners in here and here, but for this part, I got a random piece of scrap and was playing with the spacing. We're gonna go with this piece of scrap. I don't actually know that thickness. It just happens to fit pretty well in between all of these. And the plan is to put 1 fastener here with the spacing, 1 fastener here with the spacing, 1 fastener here with the spacing, 1 here. Now all of these can pivot and turn, so I could get the spacing accurate on that side. Let's do it. Got the spacing all done. I'm pretty happy with this, but the center portions look off because I think the 1x4s are just not straight. But I'm happy with the spacing on the side. We're gonna put more fasteners in the middle and then work on this top part. So this is the orientation we decided to go with. I just talked with my wife and she wants kind of this bucket on the side. Bob from I Like to Make Stuff, he put his in the middle. I'm going to cut these ends off, and I picked up a few 1x3s to fill in this space here because I want it to just kind of look a little bit more even. So that joint right there, I'm not sure what to do. I'm probably just gonna glue it together and call it a day. It should be decently well supported. Just finished the top part. My wife can put different sized IKEA bins in here. Beautiful. This is the top part that we are going with. Allie picked up this nicer 1x5 with these cool knots. So when she's working on her potting bench, there's just kind of something cool to look at. I really like using clamps so I don't have to hold the top part up. I put in a few fasteners here and I don't have a pocket hole jig. So this is kind of what we are going to work with because Bob from I Like to Make Stuff, he uses this pocket hole jig to connect them. So I think I'm just gonna wing it and put in some screws. Haven't done a sawing video in a while, so I'm gonna cut these gussets, I believe they're called, and I'm feeling much more comfortable with the saw now. I still can't cut really straight, but I'm okay with that. Now I got this triangular gusset piece and it will be fitted, oh, wrong way. It'll be fitted like this. Beautiful. Gonna get these screwed in. I already put one in the middle here and need to do another one on that end. For the next part, we are going to install this hardwire cloth across the back with a staple gun, but I just noticed we do not have any wire cutters, so I'm gonna go to Home Depot right now. So I got the chicken wire out. I don't know the best way to flatten this, so I've just been kind of taking a piece of 1x4 and just like bending it to be more flat. Oops. Hope it's getting better. Alright, staple gun time. Alright, let's try this. I'm just gonna staple the rest in. This is the last step. I'm gonna pour a little bit of this into a Chipotle lid and cover the entire thing. It looks so good. We did a little bit of research and Reddit said to use spar urethane, but when we went to Home Depot, they were like, hey, yeah, try this thing. And I did a little bit more research. Reddit seems to hate Bear products, but this is a potting bench that will go outside, and we don't care that much. The potting bench is done. This is my first time using stain, so I didn't know if I was supposed to apply it to bottom surfaces. Like, I didn't apply stain to any of that, so hopefully it doesn't like rot or I don't know. But the top looks great and my wife loves it.
I do.
So, 6th video done.